Hi guys, Dr. Kid here. In this video, I want to go through a simple guide for intermittent fasting for the beginner, how you can use it for weight loss, and a simple method that I often use with my patients to achieve good results in losing weight. So what is intermittent fasting? Well, intermittent fasting describes a pattern of eating that cycles between a set amount of time for eating and a set amount of time for fasting. So how do we define fasting? Well, fasting is defined as the voluntary abstinence from food. Fasting typically involves eating nothing, but you're allowed to just have water. Some patients that really struggle to fast with water alone, we do allow some coffee without any sugar. This is because there's some caffeine in the coffee, and this will help suppress the appetite and help the patient maintain the fast. So is intermittent fasting safe? Well, this is a very common question I get, and I usually use the example of a person known as Angus Barbary. He is the world record holder for the longest fast in history without any food. He only had water. He fasted for a whopping 382 days. Now, this is an extreme example, but this shows you that fasting for 16 hours, even up to 24 hours, is not going to have a significant detrimental effect on your health. However, there are some groups of patients that I would not recommend prolonged fasting for. This includes patients that are low in weight, malnourished, pregnant, breastfeeding, or children who really need nutrients to grow. So what is the best method of intermittent fasting? Well, as usual, there's not one best method. Every person is different, and the method that you can stick to for the long term will be the best method for you. However, the method I usually recommend for beginners is the 16 and 8 method. This method means that you fast for 16 hours of the day, and you choose 8 hours of the day where you're allowed to eat. So to give you a specific example, someone might choose the times between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. to eat, that's 8 hours, or you can do 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and the rest of the time you'll be fasting. Fasting would be just water and nothing else. However, as I spoke about before, if you really struggle to fast for that 16 hours on just water, you can add 1 cup of coffee with no sugar that has a little bit of caffeine in it. This can help suppress your appetite and get you through the 16 hours. Now, the timing that you have to eat can be varied as well from day to day to suit your lifestyle. For example, if you're doing a 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. time where you're allowed to eat, then on the weekend you had dinner with friends, then on that day you could alter it to 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. just to allow you to eat during the time that you're out with your friends. And this is why I often recommend intermittent fasting for beginners, because it's simple. There's no specific restrictions on what you're allowed to eat. And there's also not extensive calculations that you need to do, such as calorie counting, that can be quite exhausting and prevent patients from sticking to the diet. Now, there are some other proposed benefits of intermittent fasting that I talked about, one of which is something called autophagy, which is basically a process that gets triggered when you fast, where the body clears waste material from cells. Now, at the time of recording this video, this evidence has only been shown in animal studies and has not been done yet in human studies. Now, intermittent fasting can also lower your risk of cardiovascular disease by lowering things like blood sugar levels, blood cholesterol, and blood pressure. Now, it's unclear whether intermittent fasting just helps this purely because it helps with weight loss, or there's some other separate mechanism that fasting does to help lower these parameters. Now, I know mentioned with intermittent fasting, you can basically eat anything, but obviously if you pair intermittent fasting with healthy eating, this is going to give you the best results for weight loss and for health. Now, to give you an idea of what I would count as healthy eating, this would include eating a wide variety of foods from the 5 following food groups: vegetables, legumes and beans, fruit, grains, particularly whole grains and high fiber cereal, lean meat, poultry, fish, eggs, tofu, and dairy products such as milk, yogurt, and cheese, particularly those that are low in fat. Foods that I would avoid would include things like processed food, foods high in saturated fats such as pizza, burgers, chips, high sugary foods such as confectionery, chocolate, ice cream. I would also avoid drinks high in sugar. This includes soft drinks and cordials, but also can include certain fruit drinks, energy drinks, and sports drinks. I would also avoid alcohol, not only because alcohol has a lot of deleterious effects on your health, but also a lot of alcoholic drinks can be high in calories. So that's my quick summary of intermittent fasting for the beginner for weight loss. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.